Hello and welcome back to Inside the 20. Today we are going over the Week 16 recap. Week 16 in the NFL has concluded, and we head to Week 17 for Christmas Day, and of course New Year's heading up in a couple days. And yeah, if y'all have not checked out my Week 1 through Week 15 recap, please go check that out. And yeah, please make sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment, and let's get into it. So, starting out, Phillip Rivers, okay? He looked good. He looked very good on Monday night. And he didn't look half bad in Seattle either. Multiple touchdowns in both games, okay? But I still personally see some better options. And it's not all on him. Personally, yes, he dropped 27 on the Niners. Yes, his defense sold him and gave up 48, which is not good, which is not acceptable. So, he did very good. I just want to state that before I get into anything else. But here is where it comes in. Cam Newton, in my opinion, is better than Phillip Rivers. And I think a lot of people would agree with me on this, but I have a lot of reasons why. One, he's younger. Rivers is a grandpa. He's 45. Cam Newton cannot be older than like 35. And he's a lot better. And he's a lot more athletic, which brings me to my second point. Athleticism. I would take Cam Newton in any day rather than Phillip Rivers, personally. And he has a better IQ. Really, I want to bring that up. We've seen Phillip Rivers play, and we've seen Cam Newton. I'm taking Cam over Phillip any day. I don't care. His IQ is better than Phillip. I know a lot of people would argue me on it. I still believe that his IQ is better than Rivers. And just in a general aspect, he's fresher in the game of football, which kind of combines all the things I've talked about and into one, saying that he is fresher in the game of football in his mind than Rivers is. They haven't played in the same amount of time. Rivers has only played in this organization for 1 year, and it was during COVID, so that season didn't even exist. And Newton went off hinting on his podcast where he said that he deserved a shot, which I completely agree on. He easily deserves a shot over Phillip. And I think he said that it hurt his feelings that they went immediately to Phillip and never called him up or never gave anyone else a chance. And I could not agree more with him. Because after Daniel Jones went down, the Colts were immediately cooked, and they couldn't think of anyone else except for Phillip Rivers. I'm totally with Cam. Personally, I'm taking him any day of the week over Phillip. And if the Colts would have sat there for maybe another 2 to 3 days and thought about it a little bit more, they would have at least come up with another 2 to 3 candidates. I don't think there's any world where they wouldn't have, or at least just question Phillip, because he went down. They immediately picked up the phone and called up Phillip, and he immediately was like, I'm down. And I get that, but you have to really map it out if you want to have good success with the guy you're bringing in. Now, mind you, I would take anyone over Anthony Richardson now. He cooked at Florida, and now he's not good. So, he's not even in the question. He's never been in the question. I would rather take Phillip Rivers over him. But I'm taking a lot of guys over Phillip Rivers personally. And I think the Colts should have waited a little longer. They would have come up with a lot of other guys, especially Cam Newton, who deserved a shot. I think that it's completely justifiable by Newton that he deserves a shot over Rivers. To Pittsburgh, DK Metcalf, he punched a fan, and he is now suspended 2 games. DK Metcalf was suspended 2 games by the National Football League for a physical altercation with a fan during a game in Detroit, according to ESPN. Now, video showed Metcalf reaching into the stands and throwing a punch toward the Lions fan after a sideline exchange. Now, going back a couple years, the fan was in Seattle and was heckling DK Metcalf while he was on the Seahawks. And it was very heated, and it almost happened. The same thing that happened in Detroit almost happened in Seattle. Now, that fan has been under his skin for a while, and DK just wasn't going to take it. So, Metcalf appealed the suspension, and the NFL upheld the 2-game ban, forcing him to miss the final 2 games of the regular season. Now, the ban could have been lifted, and it would have been 1 game, which meant he could have played Week 18. Now, Metcalf will lose over $500,000 in his annual salary due to the suspension and the appeal to court. Moral of the story, don't punch a fan, no matter what he says, no matter what they do. Don't fight back. But I understand where he's coming from. If somebody was under my skin, I'm going to be annoyed. You can't do that. You can't go into the stands and punch a guy. But I understand where he's coming from. Now, I would never do something like that, and I know that you shouldn't do anything like that. Nobody should. But there's a point where you kind of just need to control yourself a little bit. And I understand he's a grown man. He can make his own decisions, but it still doesn't make anything justifiable whether you're 18, whether you're 10, or whether you're 30. So, moral of the story, don't go into the stands and punch some dude, no matter what he says. To New England, Drake May. Drake May. Yep. He looked like an MVP against the Ravens, personally. Lamar left the game in the second quarter, and initially it appeared Drake May and the Patriots were in control. Now, in classic Patriot fashion, they fell down 11. They are down 24-13 early in the fourth quarter, facing a large comeback. May ignited the rally with a 37-yard touchdown pass to rookie Kyle Williams, making his first 300-yard game, which is kind of crazy. And a clutch 21-yard 4th and 2 completion to Stephon Diggs set up Ramondre Stevenson's 21-yard game-winning run to seal the win. May finished with 380 yards and 2 scores, earning MVP chance in a primetime playoff clinching game. Now, like I said, playoff clinching, the Patriots have now clinched the playoffs as the Ravens are basically eliminated. They're 7-8. They need to win out, plus the Steelers to lose out. A lot of things need to happen, but the Ravens are mathematically eliminated. Going to all the scores, we have a crazy one in Seattle, winning 38-37 over the Rams in overtime on Thursday Night Football. We have the Eagles beating the Commanders 29-18 pretty easily. We have Chicago beating Green Bay in overtime at home 22-16 to lock down the division. We have Buffalo on the road winning 23-20 over Cleveland. Los Angeles beating Dallas 34-17 on the road. Tennessee taking care of Kansas City 26-9 at home. The Bengals dismantling the Dolphins 45-21 on the road. The Saints winning 29-6 against the Jets at home. The Vikings at home beating the Giants 16-13. The Panthers on the road beating the Bucs 23-20. The Jaguars beating the Broncos 34-20 on the road, which is incredibly surprising. The Falcons taking care of the Cardinals 26-19. The Texans beating the Raiders in a close one 23-21. The Steelers beating the Lions on the road 29-24 with that wild penalty at the end. The Patriots beating the Ravens 28-24 on the road on Sunday night. And to cap off Monday, the Colts falling to the San Francisco 49ers 48-27. Alrighty, that'll do it for my Week 16 recap. Thank y'all for tuning in. If you made it to the end, you're a real one. Please make sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment. And yeah, thank y'all for watching. This has been Inside the 20 with your Week 16 recap. Peace.